It's been a great week. We've got lots of comments and questions. Let's say the main one is on hot peppers in the 18th century. Thanks for joining us today. So here's the first question, and it's an interesting one. It came in on the last Q&A. It says, what I asked myself the other day, what about tattoos in the 18th century? Did people have them? And if yes, what kind of people? Sailors, pirates? Were tattoos a thing natives wore? Well, that's a very, very interesting question, and there's a lot of stuff on the history of tattooing. If you go online, search on history of tattooing, you're going to find a lot of information. There was certainly tattooing going on in the 18th century, and specifically in the late 18th century, sailors' tattoos were starting to be cataloged for identification reasons. Possibly because, like the mutineers from Mutiny on the Bounty, they were interested in finding those guys, and tattoos, sailor tattoos, were one of the ways that they would be able to identify these different people. And you also find sailor tattoos being cataloged well into the early 19th century, and some of those things are available online. There was also Native American tattooing. That was also a thing, depending on the tribe, obviously. So there's definitely a lot of history there. You know, we did have for a while a post that circulated through our Facebook a couple of times on a database or a catalog of tattoos that were available. And, you know, for the life of me, I could not find that link again. If you've got that link for the actual tattoo images of 18th century, late 18th century sailor tattoos, make sure to put it down in the comment section and help everybody out. Here's a good one. I live in rural Australia, and I love that you are reviving old forgotten recipes. Most people don't appreciate these ways. They'll be lost if we don't take care of them and pass them on. Where do you find most of your recipes? Well, we have a giant bookshelf of 18th century cookbooks and food-related topics that we pick on. But we use a lot of resources that are available online. 18th century cookbooks, maybe sometimes they're different ethnicities, but most of them are English cookbooks from the 18th century. We've got a great link on our savoringthepast.net cooking blog on these free texts that are available. I'll put a link down in the description section so you can check that out. A bunch of great resources. Here's one that came in on the catfish stew. So you've done a few episodes on things like pemmican and jerky, but I've been wondering about what other Native American dishes or cooking methods might have been adopted by people during this era. Great question, and in fact, the episode coming up on Monday and the Monday following will be on parched corn, a super important part of the diet of Native Americans, and that was taken on and used by the European settlers as they came in. So make sure to check out those episodes as they come in. Those will be the next couple of episodes. Then after that, we'll have a few more from Mount Vernon. Here's a question that came in on catfish stew. I think you should start expanding from food and try to incorporate other topics like sports, hobbies, jobs and professions, entertainment, daily life, life as a child, rich, poor, major historical events, along with other ideas to your videos. So he's asking for other kinds of videos. That's a tall order. We have a lot of trouble keeping up with the content that we have, but we would like to bring a lot more to the channel and possibly to other things, maybe podcasts or other kinds of ways to do it. But right now we're so busy with what we're doing, it's really hard to add anything more to the workload here. But we're doing our best, and we will try to fold in some of these concepts. We're working on a lot. So hopefully, in the next couple of months, or so, you'll be starting to see some of these other kinds of topics roll in. A great suggestion. Thank you so much for, kind of giving us suggestions like this, and thanks for the support. Here's a question that came in on the ancient tour of James Townsend and Son video. That's probably the first year that we were doing YouTube videos. Did you ever think that reenacting would turn into such a large business with 280,000 people wanting to know about everything you do? Well, we do have a lot of subscribers, and it is very amazing for the kind of a niche thing that we do. But no, I would never have guessed that the kind of response would be what it has been on YouTube. I am so excited about being able to, kind of get this information out there. What I do and the team behind me, whether it's the camera person or Kevin, who writes a lot and does a lot of the research, or all the people that kind of work here at James Townsend and Son, I want to thank you for your great interest. It really helps us. It makes it possible to do what we do. So these next two questions are both pepper related, and they both came in on that catfish stew episode. That was so much fun. This one says, that looked like a lot of pepper flakes. How spicy was the dish? I'm surprised. I really didn't find that one, even though it looked like there were a lot of pepper flakes on that. It didn't turn out that spicy to me. And I'm sort of middling when it comes to spicy. I don't like stuff super spicy, but I do like some spice. I found it just very normal, not too spicy at all. And here's the main question here. I'd love to hear more about hot peppers. How common were they? How did people use them? Is there any information about specific cultivars that were grown? Jalapeno, Tabasco, Cayenne. Did people grow any in their own gardens? This topic is probably one that needs a lot more research. I'll bet there's a lot here, and I've only got a few things kind of off the top of my head for this one. One of the things that you will find mentioned many times in the 18th century English cookbooks is cayenne pepper. It is one that does show up fairly often. There aren't a lot of other kinds of hot pepper that are mentioned by their name. So, obviously they're using things like black pepper. Occasionally you'll see long peppers being talked about, but that's a different kind of pepper, right? These hot peppers, cayenne pepper, is the one that shows up most often. But apparently they were being grown, other types were being grown in England, and George Washington is actually he was actually working on specifically growing his own peppers, and he was trying out different types, apparently bird pepper, fish pepper. He's experimenting. He had there at Mount Vernon multiple greenhouses, or a large greenhouse and gardens, so he was working on some of these kinds of things. So yeah, hot peppers, I wouldn't have guessed it. 2 or 3 years ago, you'd asked me about hot peppers, I would have said, no, probably not so much. But I think as we dig in and we do a lot more research, we're going to be finding more peppers. And I'm going to keep my eyes out as I dig more and more in the cookbooks and in the other references to find more about peppers. I'm definitely going to dig in on this one. It's been a super busy week, and we are prepping for lots of other things. I just did a couple of cooking episodes, and we're headed out to Genesee Country Village here in about 10 days or so. There's going to be a conference, the ALFAM conference is going to be there for living history organizations. We'll be doing a couple presentations. If you're going to that conference, make sure to look us up. And I really want to thank everyone. Again, amazing comments, great questions, and we get so much wonderful support on the channel. I really want to reach out and thank you for the amazing support that you give us, whether it's comments and questions, watching our videos, especially sharing our videos with other people you think might be interested. YouTube isn't as easy to do anymore as it is, and I really need your help in sharing those videos. So thank you so much for doing that, supporting us with Patreon or purchasing products on our website. Again, thanks for all you do, and thanks for watching.